afternoon, good evening, good day, happy Sunday, all that good stuff. So let me know how well you guys can hear me. I think that can see my mic levels, but it doesn't always tell me everything probably. But nevertheless, Chris Jenkins, credential media member for Charlotte Vibe, covering your woeful Carolina Panthers. And man, I'm seeing a lot of stuff out there on Twitter. I guess it's not only hard for me. Greg Olson's making comments about how tough this is. I've seen other fan groups out there saying how this is the toughest things have been in years for this team. So no doubt, when you have 2 seasons where you go on 7-game losing streaks, it can really not make you too happy and excited about anything. So that's just where we are, not being a good football team right now. You got players that seem like they don't care who's coaching, and I don't think it's something that's the coach's fault. But nevertheless, let me just go ahead and get into this because we've got a lot to talk about today with these Carolina Panthers now losing what has been their 7th game in a row. What was that final score? I think that final score was 38-6. Is that right? Trying to look and see for it real quick. I don't see it, but yeah, it was pretty bad. I'm thinking 38-6 is close enough, right? So let's go ahead and get into this post-game show, and definitely want to hear from you all. Want to hear your questions. Want to hear your thoughts. My Will Grier support beer didn't go too well, so I guess I'm gonna have to cut that off. But let's start off with some video of Coach Perry Fuel after the game talking about those punts, special teams. Special teams did not go well at all today, so let's go ahead and see what Perry had to say about that.
Man, we didn't get population to the ball. They had an opportunity for explosive. We tried to punt the ball away from him. We tried to punt it out of bounds. We did not do that. We mishit the ball, and result was 2 touchdowns.
All right. So the big thing today, certainly what started this awful game, was making the Indianapolis Colts special teams look like superstars. And it was a lot of things that were at play, but that was the biggest thing. And Perry said they were trying to do some things to keep the ball away, but they just really were not that successful in doing so. And, they went up on us pretty quick. So the other thing that stuck out, y'all hear that stutter? Y'all can hear the stutter on live TV. I can't help it. But the other thing that stood out from today's game was the lack of action Dante Jackson. And that move today to not start Dante was a shocker to me. I didn't see it coming. I don't think anyone in the media saw it coming. I had mentioned earlier this week that I had a chance to go up to Dante. And the reason that I went to talk to Dante was because of the fact that I was trying to talk to him last Sunday after the game, and I did not ask my questions properly. So I want to talk to him about it. Anyway, just had some respect from him, and that it was seeming like he was learning from what was going on. And that's what you want to see from people. We all make mistakes, but you want to start to see some learning. And for him to get benched this week, I feel like it's a little delayed for benching him. And he said it wasn't good practices. That it just seems a little weird to me. I don't know the full story behind it, but I'm going to go ahead and play some of the video from Perry Fuel talking about the benching of Dante Jackson.
In performance, and so we for a couple of weeks, and he had a poor couple of weeks in performance, and so we felt like we needed to make a change and have someone else play instead of Dante today. We did have a conversation with him that he would not start. We did not intend not to play him. He did play on special teams, and he tried to contribute on special teams today.
All right, so there you go. Perry Fuel saying that he did talk to Dante, so Dante knew it was coming. They didn't say how far in advance that he knew. That's something I'd be curious about, was how far in advance Dante knew that this was coming. The plan was not to have him off the field the entire time. It just happened to work out that way. To me, that's saying that Ross Cockrell was doing a good enough job where they did not feel pressed to think about, hey, let's make sure that we get Dante Jackson in here for some reps. So that's something that's going to play itself out. I don't think that Dante's in jeopardy of not returning because he was a high draft pick and had some potential. I think that the incoming group will want to have a chance to groom Dante a little bit, but there you have coach's thoughts on it. So let me go ahead and go through some other things regarding that special teams that we were just talking about. That was the first comment that I played for you from Perry Fuel. And, special teams started, it's like a lot of things started out respectable and decent on this team, and it's just kind of going downhill. If you guys aren't familiar, Chase Blackburn is the special teams guy, and he used to play for the Panthers. So you kind of want to cheer for those guys who you see come out as a player, get some coaching experience, and was having some success. And special teams has just been poor, really poor. And my thoughts on that special teams play is I feel like this team as a whole, they're not giving up, but they just aren't as motivated. I feel like, Ron Rivera was a good coach. Ron Rivera was a good, solid coach, in my opinion. Welcome to disagree. But when he left, I feel like that just took a lot of motivation out of all these guys because you know that Perry Fuel's not going to be your long-term coach. And you're already frustrated from having lost games. You're continuing to lose games. So it's like that substitute teacher's there. And you just go and say, what the heck? I'm gonna act out. I'm gonna say what I want to say, a.k.a. Dante Jackson a few weeks ago in Atlanta. Vernon Butler with his play today. I'm mad. What the heck crap? I'm just gonna hit this guy. And he has that happen. And Vernon Butler I think between him and Dante, that Vernon Butler has the exit door open for him much sooner. Actually was able to get a clip from Vernon in the locker room. Let me see if I can bring that up for you guys really quick and play that. Give me a second. But Vernon Butler made some comments post-game apologizing for his play.
64 right there as well. My fault.
Thank you.
Here, the whistle was blue. I played before that. I told him to stop doing all the extra stuff. And he can get the next play, and I was feeling over it.
But then you ended up, to make sure I got it right, you ended up hitting the guy, not the right guy.
Yeah, the wrong person, yeah.
You just were coming up angry,
it was just
sort
happened.
of. Yeah.
I said, it was a bang play, got up. I seen him like that. I thought that was 64 right there as well. My fault.
All right, so there you have that. Vernon Butler admitting that he hit the wrong guy. It was something that was happening with him and that player previously to that play, which I kind of figured that it was not validated, but you just got to think like what was happening for that to be the end result. I said it was a bang play, rolled over, just thought that was, I think he said 64. Hit the guy, and not only did he make a personal foul hitting somebody, he hit the wrong guy, and then on the way out he put his middle fingers up. And now at this point, if you go to ESPN.com, my man Vernon Butler is on the front page for what he did today. So that's not a good look at all. So let's go ahead and let's just go to a positive that happened today. All right, since we done had a lot of bad stuff happening today, let's talk about Christian McCaffrey breaking some records. All right, let's clap it up for Christian McCaffrey because he did a good job. They did an excellent job. In spite of a lot of the bad things that were going on today, Christian McCaffrey mostly broke records for a running back and reception. So first thing that he did was he set a single game record for 15 receptions, breaking a record that he had tied with Panthers legend Steve Smith. All right, so then the next thing that he did is he became the first running back to have back-to-back, I shouldn't even say back-to-back, well, back-to-back and 2 100 reception yard seasons. So that's another record for Mr. Christian McCaffrey. And I think there's one more that McCaffrey did today. He only needs 67 more yards to become just the third ever person to have 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving in one season. So congratulations, big props to Christian McCaffrey. And we're going to close out with a little bit of talk on quarterback Will Grier, who, like I said, I got my little beard and everything trying to go for him today. Will Grier, I think he had not completely a tale of two halves, but he did have a second half that wasn't as good as the first half. He did have an interception. I think he ended the day up with 3 interceptions. I was surprised, but it was cool to see that the first possession of the game, all first 3 plays were throws. So I think that shows that they have some confidence in Will Grier. Coach Fuel did not say who the starter would be, but I don't see any reason why you would not just go ahead and get a little bit more tape on Will Grier just to help him develop as a quarterback and help for decision making along the process. His final stats. Let me go into Will Grier's final stats. I forgot to bring them up before I got online with you guys, but it will take me just a second to bring that up. Or 2. So Will Grier's final stats, 27 for 44. This guy threw 44 times. Sacked 5 times, and again, had the 3 interceptions. One in which I feel should have been a reception by the Panthers, because I felt like it was a simultaneous catch, and I know the simultaneous catch does go to the receiver. And second half, he probably started pressing as you might imagine he should. Honestly, given the fact that they're losing, he doesn't want to continue to lose. So he was taking some shots, threw a ball across his body that wasn't good at all, rolling to his right, throws to his left, and then he threw a deep ball interception in which he, again, almost was a 50-50 ball, but he lost that one to the Colts. So I think Will Grier did fine today, and we should continue to play him. So that will wrap up my coverage for today as the Indianapolis Colts crush the Carolina Panthers with a final score of 38-6. Carolina Panthers have now lost 7 in a row. They will be back home against the New Orleans Saints here at Bank of America Stadium for the final game of the season. That'll be December 29th. Yours truly will be there along with Margaret Beveridge. As always, appreciate everybody for watching. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, bell notification, and gives me a thumbs up. As well as I love to engage men and people. So if there's something that I didn't talk about that you have a question about, please leave a comment below. Thank you all for watching. Notification and thumbs up.